Welcome back guys to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I shot and edited this World Cup project of mine from start to finish. I'm also going to leave my settings down below if you want to use it and copy it yourself. I'm going to show you the gear I use and leave a link down below if you want to download it and shoot for yourself. So let's jump right into it. So for this shoot I used 3 strobes because I'm shooting at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and I wanted to make sure I can overpower the sun because the sun is in full effect. So for the lights I used was an AD600 Pro, another AD600 Pro, and an AD400 Pro. So the 2 strong lights, the 600s, I put them on the left and right side of the models because I wanted to engulf them in this light and overpower the sun. I know most of you guys, if you're starting out or if you're new to light off camera flash, they usually tell you put it at a 45-degree angle, which is nothing wrong, but this time I'm trying to go more stylized, more creative shoot, more editorial. So I put it on the left and right side. And my last light, the AD400, I use it more of as a field light to help with their face, and I also added a grid on it so it doesn't spill. So I think I put it on the left side, on the right side. I'll alternate it as I pleased. You don't have to just leave it at the right side. You can put it on the left side. So I'm going to show you the settings I used on my 2 left and right AD600 Pros. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I metered my camera to first. So remember, when you're shooting off camera flash, you want to make sure that your camera is first set, then you go to your lights. So my camera was first, I started with my aperture because aperture deals with the depth of field. For this, I didn't use any f1.8 or f2.8. No, I had to shoot at f8 and f7.1 thereabout to make sure I can have everything in focus and I can have my sky and the models as perfectly blended as much as possible. So I went to my shutter speed. Because the sun is very bright, I want my lights to overpower the sun, and also there's going to be a lot of movement. I made sure I used 1/800 to 1/1000. You can go above, you can go to 1/600,000 depending on how crazy you want to get. But I think I had an ND filter. I do suggest you invest in ND filters. Neewer C is very good. I'm very biased to Neewer C. They're a little bit pricey, but they're worth every penny. So I'm a strong believer of you buy it right or you don't buy it, or you buy it twice. So I strongly suggest you go with Neewer C. I'll leave a link down below if you want to get it. I'm not sponsored, but Neewer C, if you can hear me. Now, since our shutter speed and our aperture is set, I'm going to put my ISO to 1/160 to 1/200 because I'm trying to have my camera as flat as possible, because before you put on your lights, your camera is going to be dark. So you want to meter your camera first, then put on the lights, not the other way around. Now, since our aperture is set, shutter speed is set, and ISO is set, now we go into the lights. Since my lights was on the left and right hand side, my 2 AD600 on the left and right hand side was at 1/8 because I wanted them to be very punchy and very strong. So now that it was very bright, sometimes it might be too bright, but here's the trick. You can always move the lights away. It doesn't have to be just set at one point. When it comes to off-camera flash, you're allowed to move around because every inch matters. So you can't just put it there and hope for the best, because we're trying to be intentional with what we're going for. Since we're going for an editorial look, we're going to put it on the left and right hand side, but we're going to leave a little bit of this and bring it closer or further if we need to do. Since that is perfect, now that comes to the fill light, which was the AD400 Pro. Remember, I used a 32-inch soft box with a grid on it because I don't want my light to spill. So after I did that, I made sure that I put it on the left hand side, on the right hand side. It doesn't too matter. I was moving around based on how I felt. And when I did that, here are some of the pictures you can see. Remember, when you take pictures like this, you can move around, get a feel for it, and what you see, if you like what you see, then go for it. Remember, it's all stylistic, creative, and it's editorial, so there's no perfect recipe. All you have to do is make sure that you like what you see, and that's what the look you're going for. For this look, I wanted to make sure that it was super bright and super punchy, because the World Cup, the soccer ball is very colorful, so I wanted to make sure that I had a little bit of blues and a little bit of greens, just like the field. So yeah, now we're gonna go into the editing process. Now, this editing process, this was super fun. I'm gonna show you my thoughts behind this. I'm gonna leave my exact settings I used here. So if you want to copy it, by all means, or you want to use it more as a stepping stone, because what I shot during the time and with the colors I had might not be the exact same for you, but to give you a little bit more of an insight of what, like, you know, you're trying to achieve. So let's jump right into it. First, you know, I edit with Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. If you use Capture One or Lightroom or any other editing software, it's pretty much the same. So you don't have to get Photoshop, but if you want to, by all means, be my guest. So now we're gonna start with the exposure tab. This is the raw picture. This is what I used. I kind of bumped up the exposure just a little bit because I do tend to underexpose just so I can preserve more details, you know, in the dynamic range. Then I can bump it up higher if I need to. Then with the contrast, since we're going for a punchy look, contrast is very important. I try to put my contrast, you know, around, let's say 15, 12, you know, play around as much as you want. Then, you know, the exposure and the highlights, you want to bring the highlights down to preserve the sky details, because most of the time without using an ND filter, the sky might be a little bit blown out. That's why you turn down the highlights, you know, to keep that exposure, you know, keep the clouds, the blues, and everything in between. And with the whites, play around accordingly to how you feel and what you see, depending on the type of monitor you use or camera or lens you use. That varies. And for the blacks, the dark part, I usually take it down to just further enhance the contrast. So you first have an exposure just like this. Now we're going to jump into the color tab, the white balance. This is what usually makes or breaks your image. A lot of people think it's just the color grade or the color mixer, but I disagree. Your white balance matters a lot of the time. And if you shoot raw, I usually put my camera on auto white balance. I don't believe in sending your camera for photography. I'm not gonna say for video. Video is a whole different aspect. But when you shoot raw, you can leave your camera at auto white balance and correct in post as, you know, as much as necessary. It's still gonna be the same thing. You set it yourself. So I put mine on auto white balance. I don't care if it's too orange or too blue. I come in here and I move the slider just like this as much as I feel the need to. Since we shot like very bright and usually around that golden hour, I leaned more into the yellow side, and to make sure I added more blues so the sky could pop. Because remember, I'm trying to make it look more editorial. So you can use the setting here. Because I'm a little bit more experienced in color grading, I do go more based on feel. There is no perfect recipe to color gradient. So if anyone that tells you there's a perfect setting, I'm so sorry. I don't believe that here. You're gonna go based on more of what you've seen on, you know, what you've shot. So since I've shot at this time, I want to make sure it's as natural but still as colorful and punchy as possible. And I turn down my vibrance up a little bit. I try not to touch the saturation tab too much because it's very destructive. So you can turn up the vibrance a lot, then turn down the saturation. That is a very neat treat that I do. Some people will turn up the saturation then the vibrance down, but I tend to do otherwise because vibrance is more subtle and less destructive. Then for the effects, you can use this. Sometimes I play around the texture. A little keynote and a food for thought. Every time you have a person in a picture, be careful how you use the texture, because if you turn it too much, it kind of makes it look older, look dirty, and we're not trying to do that because since the models already done their best to make themselves look good, you might want to be careful how you do the texture. You can bump it up, then edit their skin after, depending on how experienced and how good you are. So it's all about the type of skills you possess. The clarity gives it more 3D look and more contrast and more punchy. I don't really know how to describe what the clarity does, but clarity is your best friend when it comes to editing images like this. Sometimes you want to turn it down if you want to give it more of a hazy look, but I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm not trying to give it a hazy look. I'm trying to give it more of a punchy look. Then for the dehaze, adjust based on how you feel. There's no perfect way. This is what I use, and I'm going to leave my curve tab here. For the curve, I'm going to explain in a different video how to use a curve slider, because this is what makes or breaks your image. A lot of people don't know that. Your color gradient from the RGB mixers are all in here. Sometimes you can leave your color management tab, but if you don't know how to use a curve tab, I strongly suggest you learn how to do it. I'm going to make another video solely for just learning the curve tab, because that would take me another 20 minutes to show you how to use a curve tab. But this is what I use if you want to copy it and, you know, use it for yourself. I've done the hard work so you don't have to do it. Or if you just want to see, you know, how more experienced people use a curve tab. Then for the color mixer, I moved my sliders around because I know I had a lot of blues, reds, and yellows and greens. So, you know, play around. I didn't have much purples or magenta, so no matter how much I touch that, it's not gonna affect my image. So this is what I use, and by all means, if you want to copy it too as well, copy it. And this is the color wheel. I'm going to talk more again on how about color theory and, you know, the complementary colors, you know, monochrome colors, because there's a whole different aspect on color grading. But I'm going to just show this if you want to copy mine, since I've done the hard work, so you don't have to do it. And yeah, basically, and you get pictures like this. Remember guys, when you're color grading, before you shoot and click your camera, the color grade starts in camera. What do you have? What are you seeing? And what can you work with? If there's no green in your image, no matter the preset you copy, it's not going to do anything. So that's how we got shoots like this. I'm going to leave all my gear and everything I use down below. If you want to get them yourself, by all means. And if you take a picture using my light setup, hey. So remember guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment down below, or just any more. If you want to add to the video, like there's something I missed, let me know. Just leave a comment down below. Please like and subscribe. It helps me a lot trying to grow. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.